All right, so we are live and I see the audience trickling in. We already have 25 plus people in this room. I'm going to do a quick audio check with everyone. So, those of you who have joined the session, in case you're able to hear me in the chat, let us know the city you're dialing in from. My assumption is a majority of our attendees today are going to come from India, but there may be some from other different parts of the world as well. So, let us know the city you're dialing in from. And if you're dialing in from outside of India, then let us know the country you're dialing in from as well. The chat is open. I hope I'm going to receive some responses. We already have 170 plus people in this room. So this is great. Let me check if some responses keep coming in. So to the attendees, those of you who are able to hear me in the chat, let us know the city that you're dialing in from. If you're from India, if you're dialing in from outside of India, let us also know the country you're dialing in from. All right, now I see the responses coming in. So I see Ananya from Mumbai. I see Himanshu dialing in. Hi, Himanshu. Let us know the city you're dialing in from as well. Ankit from Pune, Yash from Agra. All right, keep those responses coming in. Sham from Delhi. All right, so a lot of people from different parts of the country. So Hyderabad. All right, the responses are going to keep coming in. Great. So in the meanwhile, while that happens, a brief introduction about myself. My name is Sanjay Dhingra. I'm one of the co-founders and the chief operating officer at Seed Global Education. Those of you who haven't interacted with us previously, we specialize in facilitating such interactions. So we give you an opportunity to connect with top schools, could be in the business space, could be in the engineering space, from around North America, Europe, and of course, top schools in Asia as well, including Nanyang Business School, with whom we have worked for the last couple of years, facilitating similar interactions. Besides such online interactions, we also do a lot of in-person events. So we bring delegations of top universities and business schools to different parts of the country in India. So in January, we are going to have around 20 B schools from across the world coming to Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, and Indore. So if you're looking to attend or meet the school representatives in person, then do check out our website. You'll find the details over there. We also run a scholarships fund, which is worth $6 million, actually $6.5 million as of now, with exclusive commitments from a lot of different schools, including from Nanyang Business School, which has committed an exclusive scholarship to the fund as well. For again, more details about the scholarship fund, either get in touch with our team or check out our website. You'll find all details over there. Great. So I see a lot of responses have come in, majority from India. So people from all over the country. So Delhi, Varanasi, Goa, Indore, Meerut, and all across. So it's my pleasure to be hosting all of you. In today's session, as you would already know, this session is with Nanyang Business School. We are going to interact with a couple of their alumni. So Debashish, Tushar, and Rachel are alumni of Nanyang Business School, their specialized master's program from various batches. I'm also joined by Regine Wong, who's the senior assistant director with the admissions marketing team. So you get a chance to connect with her as well and ask her questions about the admission process, eligibility, scholarships, and more. She's also going to be traveling with us in January. She's only going to be in the city of Mumbai, unfortunately. But those of you who are in Mumbai and want to meet Regine in person is most welcome to come to that event as well. Before I hand over this session and allow Regine to make her presentation and introduction about Nanyang Business School and follow it up with Q&A with their alumni, I want to run our first poll and the only poll for today afternoon, which is going to be live on your screens right now. You can see the poll question, which is about what excites you the most about studying in Singapore. The options being access to world-class education, joining a diverse or vibrant student community? Is it opportunities for personal and professional growth that is motivating you? Is it the dynamic learning environment which the university, the school offers you? Or is it the strong career prospects after graduation? So please do respond to this poll. It would be great to know what your motivations are for attending this session. In the meantime, while you do this, let me also tell you that we are seeing an increasing interest in Singapore. Over the last few years, there's been a dynamic shift during the last couple of years, when a lot of students from India are especially more and more interested in studying in Singapore. It is the proximity of the destination, the easy accessibility to coming back to India and meeting their family, all of that plays a role. It's also Singapore is the regional hub or headquarters as such. So a lot of companies which operate in India or in the region are headquartered or have their regional offices in Singapore. So the opportunities over there, those are exciting as well. And we are surely seeing a marked increase in interest in Singapore over the last couple of years. Great. So I have a couple of responses come in. Around 70 people, 60 people have responded to the poll. I would encourage more of you to respond if you haven't responded. I'm going to keep the poll live for another 5 seconds. So if you haven't responded, please do respond. And with that, I am going to end the poll and share the results. So one of the major motivation factors for people to attend this session or to want to study in Singapore is the access to the world-class education that institutions like Nanyang Business School offer in Singapore, followed by the opportunities for personal and professional growth that the city, state, the country offers, and followed by the diversity of the cohort, the learning environment, and the strong career prospects. These are some of the motivations. So great. With that, I'm going to hand over the screen to Regine, who's going to tell us more about Nanyang Business School. So she's going to take the next 8 to 10 minutes to tell you about the school and their specialized master's programs. And then we'll shift into Q&A with Tushar, Rachel, Debashish, to ask them their experience of studying at Nanyang. Great. With that, over to you, Regine.
Thank you so much, Sanjay, for the introduction. And hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in this afternoon. I'm very excited to be able to share more about Nanyang Business School and the Specialized Master's Program that we are now accepting application. I think you probably want to hear from our alumni sharing a little bit more later. So I'll just quickly go through the slides so that we can get to the more exciting part of the panel discussion. Okay, Nanyang Business School is part of the Nanyang Technological University, and we're located in Singapore, which is a cosmopolitan global melting pot. Singapore is a tiny city, it's a tiny country, right smack in the heart of Asia. We are in the very fastest growing economic region in the world. I think you all agree with me as well. Singapore is a global business hub with a lot of MNCs and setting up their regional HQ and HQ in Singapore. And Singapore is a very dynamic, multiracial and multicultural city that is ranked as one of the most livable city globally. Okay, a little bit about Nanyang Technological University. If you're not familiar with us, we are established in 1991 and we are a research intensive global university. We are well regarded in terms of the rankings. We're consistently ranked as one of the best in the world. In the latest QS World University ranking, we are ranked 12th globally. At the times, higher education for the young university ranking were ranked first. And in the very recent QS Asia University I think it was just released about 2 weeks ago, we're ranked third in Asia, which makes NTU Singapore the #1 university in Singapore. Okay. At Nanyang Business School, we are a business school within a leading technological university, and which means that we're able to innovate through interdisciplinarity, lead with cultural dexterity, and transform for sustainability. If you visit our website, you see these three themes very much out in a lot of on our website and collateral, because these are the three pillars that Nanyang Business School firmly believes in, and where our curriculum are designed around this theme of interdisciplinary cultural dexterity and sustainability as well. Yeah, so I guess we'll be able to share more throughout the panel discussion. So right now we are accepting application for the specialized master's program that will start next year in July. So we have MSc Accountancy, Actuarial and Risk Analytics, Business Analytics, Finance, Financial Engineering, and Marketing Science. So you see our alumni that we have invited today. Debashi is an alumnus from MSc Accountancy program. Tusha is from our Business Analytics program, and Rachel is from our Marketing Science program. And these are the very, very popular programs that we offer at the Nanyang Business School. Just a very quick, what is the admissions requirement? A bachelor's degree, we accept students from all disciplines. GMAT GRE required for business analytics, and a master's and financial engineering master's program. IELTS is only required if your degree is not taught in English language. But for most of you who graduate from a university in India, I believe you will be waived of this requirement, as the program is probably taught in English, actually. Yeah. And work experience is not required for the specialized master's program. Okay. And I guess a lot of people are excited to hear more about the scholarship that we have. So in addition to the scholarship that we're committed to seed, these are other scholarships that we have as well. Merit Scholarship, Diversity Scholarship, and STEM Excellence Scholarship. These are all partial scholarship that we award across all the program, except for the STEM Excellence Scholarship, which is only dedicated for the Masters of Science in Finance program. Okay, with this, I will end my, my presentation, and we go to, Sanjay can take over to bring us through the panel discussion.
Thank you, Regine. With that, I also want to give our alumni who have joined a chance to introduce themselves. So, Tushar, in case you want to go first, it would be great if you can tell our audience your journey prior to Nanyang and what you're doing post since then.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so yeah, hi everyone. Yeah, so before coming to Singapore, my educational background was in computer science. So I did my engineering in computer science. I worked in India for like around 1.5 years as a data scientist. And after that, I decided to pursue my master's from Singapore, from NTU. And I did my master's in business analytics. And post that, I'm still working in Singapore. I'm working at Grab as a data scientist as well. So, yeah, that's a very quick introduction about myself.
Great. Thanks, Tushar. And I understand Rachel and you were batchmates. Is that the case? So, Rachel, if you want to go next.
Yeah, we graduated the same year. Hi, everybody. I'm Rachel. So before my master's at NTU, I was working for about 3 years. I pursued my bachelor's in business, post which I worked for about 3.5 years at this organization known as Great Place to Work as a management consultant and marketing. Post which I wanted to do my master's in marketing, so I moved to Singapore and I immediately moved back because I wanted to be here for family. And now I'm working at a startup.
Great. Thanks, Rachel. And Debashish, if you want to go next.
Okay, so I completed my master's in 2021, almost 5 years, 4 years ago. Before that, I worked for almost 7 years. I worked with Deloitte, EY, in Hyderabad and Bangalore. Then I moved. I did my master's. I moved to Singapore for the master's program. After my master's, I came back to India just like Rachel, and I started working in Mumbai for some time. Then I moved to Bangalore, and now recently I've moved to Hyderabad. Here I've joined JP Morgan just 2 weeks ago. That's brief introduction about me. That's all. Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Debashish. So, to our audience, I will give an opportunity to all of you to ask questions to Regine, Debashish, Rachel, and Tushar. My request to you would be is to post your questions in the Q&A box, not in the chat. It's difficult to monitor the chat with all that's happening. So my request would be to post your questions in the Q&A box. You can also upvote the questions which have been asked by others. So this tells us that that question is relevant to many of you, and we'll take up those questions as well. So please upvote the questions that you like, and we'll pick up the questions. With that, let me start the Q&A. I have some questions from my end, but I'm going to sprinkle those with the audience Q&A. And the first question I'm going to start it is with an audience question. And Regine, this one comes to you. This is about a specific question which a candidate has about the 16th year requirement for studies. So in India, you can do a bachelor's, a non-engineering bachelor's, which you complete basically in 3 years. So your undergraduate degrees of 3 years. That gives people a 15-year education background. Is that acceptable, or do you require students to have a mandatory 16th year of education as well?
We have said both, so there isn't a requirement there, yes.
All right. So, Kanak, hope this answers your question. Even with a 15th year of education, 15 years of education, you can apply to Nanyang. They accept both, whether you have a 3-year bachelor's or a 4-year bachelor's, both are acceptable. Great. I'm going to continue into some questions which I had prepared. And let me start with Tushar. In your case, you did the data science program, right? If we can talk about how the program equipped you to for preparing for roles, whether it was fintech, manufacturing, consumer tech. So any of these disciplines and any projects that you did during the program that you feel were particularly relevant to the career that you're pursuing now.
Yeah. So I would say that there were a couple of courses which really helped at my present job. So currently I'm working at a product-based company called Grab, and here I'm supposed to gauge like product incremental changes, right? And monitor product life cycles, right? So there were a couple of courses like advanced statistics and storytelling via data. So these especially like brought out a lot of value for me personally, because here I'm supposed to analyze like large chunks of data and tell a story via it, right? And to basically bring an impact and influence stakeholders to help enable them make critical decisions, right? So I would say that these were a couple of sub courses which really helped and which is still helping in my current day-to-day job.
All right, great. That sounds wonderful. Rachel, let me bring you into the conversation. So I understand you pursued the Masters in Marketing Analytics or the Masters in Marketing at Nanyang. Is that correct?
I did masters in marketing science.
Marketing Science, sorry. So do you want to talk about what particularly attracted you to NBS?
Sure. So for me, before choosing any university, I had like three very crisp criteria in mind. One was since I was getting into the field of marketing, and no field today escapes tech. Like you need tech in every single field, which only NTU was providing. Like this course was perfect in terms of a balance between technology and marketing subjects. So, no, it didn't take away anything from the creative side of marketing. I still got to do everything there, but the tech balance was brought in. Secondly, what I did was I spent a lot of time researching on the faculty at NBS. So, if you open up anybody's profile, literally anybody, you'll see the kind of work they've done or what their history is, and you'll be so inspired to, study under them or work with them or be with them in any capacity. So that was the second reason. And third was what Regina's already spoken about in terms of diversity. So I always wanted to be in a space where, my colleagues or the people I'm working with or studying with, they come from different backgrounds. So that helped me a lot because when people come from different markets, like I'm from India, but a lot of people come from different markets, you understand how psychology works there. You understand what sells there better. So in marketing, it was a lot of fun because we got to, meet and share ideas that way. So these three reasons were primarily why I chose NDS.
Great, sounds wonderful. Debashish, I want to bring you into the conversation. And in your case, you went to the Nanyang's Masters of Accountancy after having 7 years of work experience and a previous MBA. Is that correct? So, what motivated you to look at a
Yes.
Masters in Accountancy versus an MBA?
Like I mentioned earlier, I was working with Deloitte. I worked with Deloitte for almost 4 years, and then I moved to EY. There, I worked for almost 2 years. And during my stint with both these organizations, I saw that both are big professional services firms, and they were focusing a lot on using data analytics in their day-to-day activities. So I was in the tax department, and they were using tax analytics, and in accounting also they were using analytics to you know with I mean with AI and ML coming in, they were trying to leverage these tools to get the same amount of work done by fewer people. So I had to seeing all these changes, I thought that it's better if I equip myself with additional skill sets, because in the long run, for growth in our field, we have to differentiate ourselves from our colleagues in some or the other way. So additional skill sets was always helpful. And when I went through the syllabus of the master's program at NBS, I saw that they had the data analytics module, which during my time was, I think, was only covered during one trimester, but now I think they have extended it. During my time, the course was for 1 year. Now it's for 1.5 years, if I'm not wrong. So
It's one
that
year
one and a
now.
half,
It's still
it's
one
one
year.
year
We,
again.
we change it,
Okay.
yes. Yes.
But I think the data analytics is the part of data analytics. It's in the focus is more on that, as far as I've heard. So they've added a lot more things over there. So that was something which uh, made me choose the MSc accountancy program at NTU. So yeah, basically these two things, and I see that it has helped me a lot now. It's with the kind of tools we were taught about, IBM SPSS and then Orange. These are few data analytics tool, which is similar to Alteryx, which we use at JP Morgan now. So the program was definitely, uh, you know, I come from a non-tech background with accountancy and finance. So definitely it helped me a lot. So yeah, that was the motivating factor for me.
Great. Debashish, I want to continue with you on a couple of things and just want to take a little deeper into this. So, Nanyang, given its location in Singapore, I understand a lot of alumni do end up working in the banking financial services industry, so finance, accounting, or related domains across the region. And of course, there are other schools as well, right? There's many other options in the region and of course from India as well. So if you had to talk about one thing that differentiates NBS as a school or NBS alumni in the job market, what would that thing be according to you?
So, first thing is the alumni network that we get exposure to. NBS alumni, they are spread across the world. They're in almost every industry everywhere. So, that network is very valuable. First of all, secondly, the the course, as I mentioned earlier, uh, they NBS keeps on updating its syllabus based on the recent changes in the industry. So accountancy, like I did my MSc accountancy, and it's one of the boring subjects, I would say. I mean, it's one of the oldest professions. But despite that, we have to understand that just any other profession with these recent changes that are coming up, especially in the last after COVID, in the last 4 or 5 years, we have seen uh, uh, Chat GPT and Perplexity and so many other AIML tools coming up. So because of these, all the other fields are changing. All the companies are trying to do a lot more work with fewer people. So I'll give you example of JP Morgan, wherein we handle private equity fund accounting over here for our private equity clients. The commitment size for one client is around 2 billion USD. The revenue that we get from our client is around 2 million for handling a 2 billion USD commitment client. If we look 10, 20 years ago, that same fund would have been done by around 40, 50 people. Now there is only a team of 5, 6 people handling that fund. So this we are able to do because of the tools that we are getting exposure to, which NBS makes sure that their students get exposure to such tools. Uh, for example, I learned IBM SPSS at NBS. I learned Orange at NBS. These are all no code tools. So coming from a non-tech background, I didn't know coding. So these tools we use it's basically object oriented tools wherein it's kind of a flow chart that we have to use. So you don't need coding skills for this. And I think these tools are very much helpful in today's world. People without coding knowledge, if they can also learn it, and NBS they make sure that their students get exposure to these tools and they do projects on these tools. We did case studies on IBM SPSS. We did case studies on Orange. So these are the few things which motivated me and which differentiates NBS from its other competitors in the market. If we see.
All right, makes sense. And yeah, of course, it's a technology-driven world, so having that curriculum component or having that component in the curriculum, of course, is an advantage. Rachel, I want to talk to you a little bit about your experience. So I know you grew up in the city of Mumbai. So how was your experience of living and studying in Singapore coming from Mumbai? And if you want to talk about any your key differences about the experiences in these cities and any tips for prospective students that you want to share.
Sure. So I think whenever anybody thinks of Mumbai, the first thing that comes to mind is accessibility, and second is safety, because Mumbai is both accessible and safe. So I think that's one thing that Singapore is, you don't have to blink your eye twice. I think it is extremely accessible and it is so safe. So I remember my time at Singapore, if I had to literally get to the opposite end of the country from wherever I was, there were at least like three different ways to get there, and all of them were extremely affordable, and everything is self-explanatory. So in terms of welcoming you into the country, you won't feel for a second that, oh, everything is so new, you have to learn so many new things, because obviously when you're moving you have that anxiety, or you're scared because you don't know how that city or country works. So with Singapore, that's eliminated in the first go, because it's so accessible, it's so safe at all times. You can literally go out anytime, anywhere, for at all areas across the country. And coming from Mumbai, we are so deep rooted in the culture of festivals and food, and there are like 100 things that everybody, all Indians love, which again is completely present at Singapore. You won't be missing out on everything. In fact, there are certain festivals that I don't really celebrate in India, which I ended up celebrating in Singapore, which was crazy to see. Because that's how appreciative of culture Singapore is, not just within the educational society, but out there as well. Like, you can constantly meet people who will help you out with everything. In terms of tips, this is what I did before I moved. Like 2 months before I moved, I started putting myself through, a situation or like a schedule daily in which I'm very independent. Like I do things on my own, be it cooking, be it cleaning, ensuring like I have enough time. And I was doing a full-time job at the moment. So it was really, I had to get myself physically compatible to run the schedule. So my first tip would be that, don't neglect yourself. Like ensure that you are capable of running the entire day by yourself. You can prep in advance. And Singapore is so well connected that there are literally WhatsApp groups, Telegram groups that you can join to learn more about the courses, to more about living in Singapore. There's help in terms of getting accommodation. All you have to do is ask. Like, all you have to do is reach out to your alumni or ask them that, can we join certain groups? Can we speak to you? Can we, how did it go? And they will be the most, helpful people um, in Singapore. So these are my two tips for anybody who's planning to go to Singapore.
Great. And one big difference, or one big commonality or difference I'll talk about is, one is, of course, the weather is very similar. So access to
Yeah.
the sea. So yeah, that's
Yeah, and
one
actually,
thing.
one more difference that I would
Sure.
say is that, we do need to read up about the rules in Singapore because, once you enter, you have to be, there are so many different things that you'll observe on a daily basis. So again, it's like the minute you enter, you have to spend a week there and you'll know everything. So there are differences, but you will love it.
And amazing public infrastructure. So that's what I was going to say. I was
Yeah,
there just a few
absolutely.
months ago, and the whole connectivity that the city has is just amazing. So
Yeah,
I'll
amazing.
surely vouch for that. Great. So, Tushar, before I start taking up the audience question, which is going to be very shortly, I do want to talk to you about the various clubs and the societies that you would have participated in. So, do you want to talk about the clubs or the various communities, student communities that are active at NBS? And if you can also talk about some internship or networking opportunities that the school opens up for you.
Yeah, sure. So I'd say that I did not take a lot of like active participation in clubs, but I did attend a lot of career fairs, which is conducted by NBS, right? And I would say they were extremely helpful. Firstly, it helped me connect with different companies across different industries. Secondly, it also gave an opportunity to meet like different alumni, right? To improve my network and essentially have a better chance of landing an internship or a job. So I would say that I attended these the most, and I would say it's extremely helpful. I actually landed my internship via a networking event itself, which was held at NBS. So I was previously interning at HP. So and the networking event actually helped me get that internship. So I'd say that yeah, it's a great opportunity.
Great, thank you. Uh, and Rachel, Devashish, if you want to chime in on this one, so do you want to talk about some of the real world projects that you could do during the program and apply your classroom learning to the industry?
Yeah, maybe I can go first. So,
No.
I think this is one of the best takeaways that I've had from NBS is that everything is practical, everything is real world. They are so updated with what are the learnings that you need that most of our projects or most of our classes assignments was basically companies coming to NBS and giving us a very real life problem to solve. We would solve the real life problem for them and present it back to them, and during the presentation we would be graded on what we've done, how we've executed it. So it's constantly you are getting confidence to be pitching to the best companies across the globe. being in that position of problem solving, right? Like imagine somebody from a CXO panel of a great company is coming and asking you, I don't know what to do about this. Why don't you solve it for me? So I think across the year, we had not once, not twice, but every single class had one such opportunity. So that, you can be rest assured that's going to be there.
Okay, so I mean, I completed my program back in 2021, so I don't recollect a lot. But then what, I mean, I agree that I mean, the whole 1 year that we spent over there was completely, studies were mostly based on case studies. I mean, all our subjects were covered using case studies. So, and those were real, I mean, real problems that were there out there and were being used as case studies. And so, I mean, using case studies to study, it is like, you're always solving real world problems over there. So, and I think at the end of our course, we had a project which was a problem statement that we had to solve, a team of 3 people. So at NBS, the whole course, uh, we will have exams and all, but it's, I mean, in India, like in other colleges that we see a lot of, I mean, we will have to, the answers will be mostly based on, case studies. You don't have to uh, memorize things, and that will really not work over here. So if we understand the concepts properly, only then we'll be able to solve those case studies. So yeah, I mean, I agree with the what Rachel mentioned earlier. So
Great. Great. Richie, I want to bring you into this aspect, and this is about the school's support to students, especially to apply classroom learning to real world business challenges. And if you can also talk a little bit about the career services or the career support which the school provides to its graduating students.
Okay, definitely happy to share. So, in terms of, I think one thing that Nanyang Business School have is that we have the Asia Business Case Center. So, some of the case studies that are used in the classroom actually comes from this Asia Business Case Studies Case Center, where it is on businesses in Asia. Of course, we do use, the Harvard Business School case studies, but in terms of some of them are from the Asia Business Case Center that we develop in at the Nanyang Business School. So it's a little bit more relevant because the Asian business has different nuances from other organizations. So for those of you who are thinking of your career is in Asia, I think it makes sense to study in Asia because of the kind of relevancies that will bring to you in the terms of a classroom discussion, and of course giving you the confidence to apply in the real world after graduating. So as I think all our alumni have shared, I think there's a lot of opportunities for application of work. Okay, in terms of the career support, yes, we do have this what we call the Graduate Study Career Development Office. In short, we call it GSCDO. So this is career support for all the master student in the business school. So I think during the pre-arrival briefing, you will already meet the team from the careers office. And right on the day of orientation, you'll meet them again. They will be sharing with everyone the plans for the whole year. Our program is a year, so what are the different workshops, career-related networking events that will be planned for all our students throughout the year? And there's also career counseling support, etc. So definitely a lot of activities will be organized for our students. So we highly encourage our students to join as many as possible. Like Tushar has shared that he went for quite a number of networking sessions. And I think that's really important because I think these sessions help to open doors professionally as well as, expanding the network and all that. So I think, yes, please attend all, as many as one can. Yes.
That absolutely makes sense. So participation is the key. I've noticed a lot of candidates you're not making most of the resources which the university or institutions make available to them. So my advice to everyone always is to participate as much as possible, network as much as possible. It opens your perspective and opens a lot of opportunities as well. With that, I want to shift to the audience question, and a lot of them have started coming in. So I think we're already sitting on 18 questions from the audience. So I want to pick up the most voted ones to start with. Again, a quick reminder to the audience in case you have questions for the NBS team over here and the panel that's here, please post your question in the Q&A box. You can also upvote the questions which have been asked by others or comment on the question if in case you follow on to the same topic. This would allow us to pick up the most relevant questions and ask our panel over here today. So, Regina, I want to start with a question which is from Sudiksha Solanki. And she's talking about the post-study work visa opportunities in Singapore. She's read that it's quite strict in Singapore. So how does the alumni network at Nanyang help the students find opportunities and crack, secure a job in the market, which helps them secure the post-study work visa as well. So if you want to start talking about what the current viewpoint is of the school, and if
Okay,
Debashish and Tushar want to add in.
Yeah, so I'm not sure whether her idea of I'm not sure the work visa is the same as what we have in Singapore. So in Singapore, you don't need to have a work visa before you apply for a job. So after graduating from NTU, you can apply for a long-term social visit pass. I think the duration is usually 6 months to a year that allows you to stay in Singapore to look for a job. So when you have found a job, your employer is the one who is going to apply for the employment pass for you, maybe in your words, like a work visa. So that allows you to stay in Singapore to work for the employer. So this is how the process works. So maybe in terms of some countries, you need to have work visa before applying for jobs. It doesn't apply in Singapore. So I hope this is clearer. Yes.
Makes sense. And Tushar, you are currently with Grab based in Singapore, and it's been slightly over, I think it's just about 1 year since you secured or started working over there.
Yeah.
So do you want to talk about how your journey was?
Yeah, sure. So after I graduated, like while I was doing my internship itself, so internship was sort of a part of the business analytics module itself. So it's something called the DAP, Data and Analytics Practicum. So I was doing my internship under that DAP module, and while I was doing the internship itself, I started looking out for full-time roles, and then I landed a role at Grab, and as far as I remember, like because I had a job offer, so they were already able to process my employment pass or your work visa. So I would say that was not very complicated. It's as long as you have a job offer, you should be able to translate it to your work visa.
Awesome, great. Regina, I want to come to this question, which is asked by Arya. So you do have a couple of different master's programs. So I know, specifying it for individual programs maybe, or you're doing the generic response may be difficult. But what qualities or experiences do you prioritize when you're evaluating applicants for the various specialized master's programs that the school offers?
Okay, I think this is an excellent question. So I think there is a few aspects that the admissions team will look at. So there isn't one aspect of the application that is more important than the other. Application are evaluated holistically. So of course, we definitely look at the academic background of students. Academic background meaning the university that you have graduated from, the kind of grades that you have gotten in your undergraduate degree. Although I mean we don't have a GPA cutoff, but we will take a look at the grades that you have, especially for some of the programs, for example, like in the Masters of Science in Financial Engineering, because the program is very, very quantitative. So we are looking for people who are strong in quant. So definitely we will be looking at your grades, especially for quantitative or math related courses that you have taken in your undergraduate, to make sure that you are doing well in those subjects, so that you have a higher chance of being able to cope in the program. So that's one thing, the academic wise. So because this all our specialized masters program do not require work experience. So a lot of our students, I would say a majority of students, don't come with work experience. I like all our alumni, they all work for a couple of years before they do the master's program. So work experience is not required. So in that sense, we will look at their internship experience, and for like our alumni, because they come with work experience, we will be looking at like their work experience, like in terms of what kind of jobs they have done, how related is it to the program that they are applying to, or if they are pivoting to a different area, are they able to demonstrate an interest in this new area? Yeah, so these are some of the things that we look at: the internship or the work experience, and then of course we look at other non-academic achievements that they may have done. If they are very active in the university, the extracurricular, or they're very much helping in the community, or any other things. We want to see some of these aspects of your application that is a unique you as an applicant. And of course, some subjects, some application requires the standardized test score like GMAT, GRE. So these will be taken into consideration. But for programs that are optional, this is then not an important criteria to have then. Yeah. So we won't penalize you if you don't have those scores.
Perfect. Great. Thanks, Regine. Uh, so Tushar, this is a specific question that has come for you, and this is from Naren, who's asked that you're already working in data science before going to the NBS MSBA
Yeah.
program.
Yeah.
So what value or what did you learn new in the course that you did not already know about through your prior work experience?
Okay, sure. Yeah, I'd say that the motivation for me joining the business analytics was that how can I link my data science acumen to business? So previously, I was like mainly working as a machine learning engineer, which is like super intensive around tech, but it was not directly correlated to business outcomes, right? So business analytics was like a course for me to understand, okay, how data can actually correlate to business decisions. And essentially the job which I'm doing here now in Singapore, it's more related to business outputs itself. So I would say in that way this course helped me a lot and added a lot more value for onto my past experience.
Great. Tushar, as an alumnus, right, and the world of data analytics is evolving
Yeah.
very fast, very rapidly. Are you still in touch with any of the faculty at NBS? Are you still able to reach out to the alumni community or the faculty at the school to get guidance with any queries or doubts that you have?
I'm pretty sure that I can reach out to my professors, uh, but I haven't been actively reaching out to them. But I'm pretty sure the accessibility is there.
Super.
Yeah.
Great. So, Devashish, this question may be relevant and maybe perfect for you to answer. This has come in from Manvi Bensla, who has an existing MBA from an Indian university, and I know in your case as well, you had a previous MBA before you went to NBS for a master's. So, is it really advisable for a candidate with an MBA from an Indian university to look at doing a master's abroad?
So I did my MBA from Calcutta University back in 2012. Then, as I mentioned, I during my work, I realized that I have to, and also because I was in the tax domain, I wanted to shift more towards the accounting side. So that was another motivating factor for me to look specifically for the MSc accountancy program because domain that I was working in, it was basically a intersection of both tax and accounting. But I wanted to pivot more towards the accounting side of things because tax becomes more jurisdictional because if you are working on I was working for US clients. So if you're working on US clients, you are mostly aware of the US jurisdictional taxes. I mean tax laws and uh, but then if you want to move to any other jurisdiction, that becomes difficult. But if you're into accounting, accounting is generally same in every country. The accounting principles. There will be minor differences here and there, but generally it's same. So that was another reason why I wanted to do the MSc accountancy program, and it helped me because soon after the program, I joined SSNC in Mumbai into hedge fund accounting, and then I joined Apex in Bangalore into private equity fund accounting, and now in JP Morgan again into private equity fund accounting. And now I'm earlier I was mostly working for US clients. Now I'm working for the European clients. They're based out of Ireland and Dublin and New Jersey. So yeah, I mean, for me, that was the reason that I did after MBA, I did another master's program that was specific to me. But it came. I got to know that after working for a couple of years. So it's person to person. It depends on your, if you have some previous experience, then if you want to do another master's, that's your choice. But for me, it was relevant. So
Okay.
uh,
Great. So, Manvi, in that case, the advice truthfully is what are your motivations? Why are you looking for, like a master's abroad? Is it for mobility? Is it for building more specialized knowledge in the discipline that you want to work in? Or is it for career growth? So look at what your motivations are, and maybe your answer lies there, right? So in Debashish's case, he had a specific reason why he was looking for the Masters of Accountancy. He was looking to move that transition to accounting. In your case, look at what is that key reason for you to want to pursue a second master's, and that should be your guiding force over there. Uh, Great. Rachel, I want to bring you into this conversation because this is around expenses. And given how expensive Mumbai as a city is, and you grew up over there, maybe you have a reference point as well. So, Sukriti is saying that Singapore is perceived to be an expensive city. Now, firstly, do you want to do if you're able to do a general cost of living comparison between how it is in Singapore and how it is in Mumbai specifically? So, because I think it's the closest comparative city as such. So, if you want to talk about that, in Mumbai, I'm assuming, or it's possible you may be living with family, so you may not be taking the rent into account. But I would say take that into your consideration as well. And if you can broadly estimate how it turns out, how it was to live in Singapore and how it is to live in Mumbai.
Sure. So, Singapore is obviously way more expensive than Mumbai when it comes to certain things like accommodation, but that's also where you can save. So, if you do not have personal preferences that, oh, I want a room to myself, I want to be alone, you can share the room with someone. You can look at this is all off-campus accommodation if you are going for that. And on campus is considerably cheaper to begin with. So your on-campus accommodation is very affordable. That is not, I wouldn't categorize it as expensive given Singapore standards. But if you're living off campus, it becomes expensive. There are different types of accommodation that you can go for. If you want to go for a condominium, that's going to charge you more. Even if you go for a condominium and you room with someone, that will reduce your cost. So there is cost saving in terms of accommodation. It's not that you are going to spend a huge amount on that. On your groceries also, you have to be very smart from where you're buying. So cost really differs from the area of your purchase. So if you research well and if you look at these areas where grocery is more affordable, you can definitely save some amount of money. Like I've already mentioned, public transport is also very accessible. So you will not be required to take any kind of private vehicle like a cab to different places. But if you, because all of us, obviously, usually you have a group of friends traveling together. So you can always do the math of what is cheaper, traveling alone by yourself or, doing like a private vehicle or a cab. So given aside the accommodation, because that's a very personal choice, your cost compared to Mumbai will at least be 2x or 2.5x. So it is considerably expensive, but there is nothing that you cannot budget or ration.
Perfect. Also, my advice to the audience over here is to look at cost in terms of your ROI instead of looking at it as an independent cost. Because if you are studying in Singapore or if you're living and working over there and you're earning in Singaporean dollars, so that cost is proportionately not as much as it may seem when you're just doing a direct comparison. So you need to do it in terms of your ROI because that's what would make the broad difference. So take into account your cost of study, so tuition plus cost of living, and then look at what would be the post-study career opportunities and what kind of salaries you'll make, and take that into consideration while taking that decision. Regine, I know in your presentation you already touched upon funding options, so you did talk about scholarships that the school offers, but are there any other funding options that the students can enroll, that the students can look for to pursue their studies at NBS?
So the scholarship, okay, I think it's good that we talk about this because if you're looking for scholarship considerations, actually you need to submit your application by the round one deadline, which is actually end of the month, 30th of November. So you are still in time, although a little tight, but I think you can still make it because you only need to complete your online application. You need to complete the scholarship section of the online application. So depending on which scholarship that you chose, there is an additional essay question that you have to submit as part of the scholarship applications by the round one deadline. So you can still work on that. So we're still in time. Well, I mean, these are the scholarship options that we offer. So there is no additional, what do you call that, scholarship interview. So if you're offered admissions to our program, our scholarship committee will then look into your application, and they see that you have put in an application for scholarship. That's where the committee will then review, what you have submitted through your applications and how you perform during the admissions interview. To determine, if you will be awarded with a scholarship, and if you are, what is the quantum of the scholarship? Yeah, so that's how it works. Yes.
Great. That's a great reminder. So 30th November is the deadline for the scholarship applications. So then this webinar is perfectly timed. There's still 1 week to go before the scholarship deadline. So if you're targeting the 2026 intakes at Nanyang Business School, then do make sure to submit your application by 30th of November to become eligible for the school scholarship. So that's one route. Besides that, I wanted to check if the programs, the master's programs, if there's scope for students to work part-time, does that become a possibility?
Okay, so because of the regulations, international student holding a student pass, they can only work a maximum of 16 hours per week. So that means there is no you can't work full time in that sense. You can only work like part-time jobs. But our program is a 1 year full-time program with an option to extend to 1.5 years, whereby in the final 6 months, you can actually do internship. So if you do opt for the extension of 6 months, in the final 6 months, you can do full-time internship. There's no restriction on numbers of hours work. And yes, usually internship like these are actually paid as well. So
Perfect.
this helps a
So
little
up to
bit. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really helpful. So up to 16 hours during your regular study time, and if you want to extend the program by another 6 months and do an internship at the end of the program, those are paid internships. So those open up. For other funding options, of course, there are a lot of banks in India which cover funding. You can look at loans for that. And I want to do a small plug-in about ourselves as well. If you are looking for guidance relating to the various loan options, because there are so many in India, there are public sector banks, private sector banks, there are NBFCs, then there are international lending companies. So it can get very confusing for the students. If you're looking for guidance around funding and loan, you can get in touch with our team. We do have an arm which does advise on the various loan options and guide you on the right options to consider, given your profile and what kind of collaterals and resources you have available. So great. I do want to talk about, and we are in the last 10 minutes, so I do want to pick up some really key questions. And wait, Tushar, if you want to take up this question from Janvi, who's asking if you can tell us more about the life in and around Nanyang. So not just campus life, but the city life generally. Are there eating out options? Are there party options? Are there Indian movies that play? So anything about the cultural life, and of course, Devashish, Rachel, feel free to chime in as well. But Tushar, if you want to start with that.
Yeah, sure. So I would say that you won't actually miss out on anything when you come from India to Singapore, because it's essentially like very similar to India, I would say. You can find great food everywhere. So personally, I like Singaporean food a lot, like because it's like a combination of different cuisines, and it's extremely great. And I would say that yeah, there are a lot of options. You can go out for movies. Yeah, Indian movies are also aired here. And you can go to Universal. You can, even if you want, you can, over the weekend you can also go to Malaysia. It's so accessible. So I would say that you won't miss out on anything. Instead, you will have a lot of fun. Yeah.
Now, I'm sure I was there a few months ago, and there's the Indian market. There's just you're like so much. It feels so. I felt so much at home just being in that city. So, but Rachel, Devashish, in case you want to add on anything about the life in Singapore.
Sure, I mean, I'm vegetarian, so I know that all anybody who's vegetarian is always stressing about the food availability. So let me assure you, on campus, off campus, you'll get a lot of vegetarian options, and NBS is very mindful about your preferences. So any event that they also do, they'll always like ensure that you are taken care of, whatever is your food restriction. So it's always that food wise, you won't have a problem. And like I said, it's also extremely safe. So including, you wanting to explore the city just by yourself, going for walks, going for nature runs, hikes. It has a blend of everything. Apart from cold weather, you'll get all of it in Singapore. So that way it's a great city to be in.
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Tushar and Rachel. So basically, I mean, I recently visited. I like the hot pot over there in Singapore. So it's very much like thukpa in the northeastern part of India. So it's like your noodles. It's soupy noodles basically. But yeah, I mean, the food is, you get diverse food over there. You get Chinese cuisine and then Indian cuisine. So you can try everything if so, and and you can visit. I mean, people who are fond of shopping, they want to buy some Indian artifacts. You have Little India over there, and I mean, you don't really feel like you're out of India. It's like another part of India in Singapore. So yeah, I mean, it's
Feels like home.
and very close to India. Yeah. So
Great. No, absolutely, I agree. So similar experience. I'm vegetarian as well, so a lot of options over there. And of course, the Little India area felt like being in the heart of a bustling Indian city, quite literally. So yeah, very comfortable that way. I know there are a number of questions which are around specific profiles. So, Rajin, there are questions which have come in from Adil. There's question from uh, Nihal and Isha, who are very specific profile related questions. I know you are doing a profile evaluation with us in early January. So those of you who want to get your profile discussed or get into a small group meeting with Rajin to clarify profile specific questions, we are doing a session in early Jan. I think it's around the 6th or 7th of Jan. So the first week itself, first 10 days of Jan. But before that, in case Rajin, any of them want to get in touch with you, just want to ask specific questions specific to their particular case. Is there a way they can contact you?
Sure, I can. Okay, I don't know if I can send it to a chat, my email address. Okay, I think I can. Just let me type it in. You're welcome to drop me an email. I send it to the chat. I hope everybody can see it. Yeah.
Perfect. So great. So Isha, Nihal, your questions about your personal profiles, I'd recommend getting in touch with Regine directly. That way you can have first-hand clear response and you take decisions accordingly. So I hope this helps. Uh, I do want to take up, so we have the last few minutes and I do want to take up some more questions. Uh, okay, let me see which is okay. So let me take up this question from Avantika, and she's asking a very interesting question. Are the biggest mistakes applicants can make in their essays or interviews? So, Regine, if you want to talk about some common errors that you see candidates make in their applications.
Well, okay, absolutely. I mean, I was just sharing this with another candidate recently. I mean, it may sound like really people really did that mistake, but I assure you there are many times where in the essay question they put another business school name in the essay question. True story. I'm not really like it's such a glaring mistake, right? Sometimes maybe after you send like five applications, they all look the same. So yes, it's true. They do have some of these mistakes, but I would say some of the mistake is more like when we do an interview with you, and sometimes we ask questions based on what you have written in the essays, and a lot of times applicants actually don't even remember what they have written. They kind of like, did I write that? I don't know what is that. Yeah, they have absolutely no recollection of what it was that we asked. Well, like it's in your essay. They really look lost. So one tip I would say is that maybe before the start of your interview, go back and reread what you have submitted to the school so that when when the interviewer asks you the question, you're able to answer. Otherwise, it may feel like, did you really write the essay or did ChatGPT write it for you and you just kind of like submit it, right? So these are some of the things. But yeah, so I would highly suggest that you can get a friend or somebody to help you vet through to make sure that you're answering to the question that the school is asking for. And of course, make sure none of these glaring mistakes are plainly in sight. Yeah.
I can surely, if Rachel, Devashish, Tushar, if you have any such thoughts, please do share. But one from mine on avoid mistakes to avoid If you're using any language editing tool like ChatGPT or Perplexity or anything, do remember to remove that statement which says, here is the refined version of your essay. Do remember to delete that. That's one. Second one is when you're doing the interview, and if it's a video interview, make sure to dress appropriately, not just on the top, but also at the bottom. I was interviewing a candidate, and for some reason, there was a bell ring, and the person had to get up, and he was wearing boxers underneath. So please avoid such situations. Just be careful about what you're wearing and how you're dressed. Make sure that you're appropriately dressed for the interview. Great. I'm sure we can go on with such stories, but I do want to take up a few. We are right on the clock, but still a lot of pending questions. So I do want to take up one or two. Regine, you did mention that GMAT is required, GMAT or GRE may be required for certain programs. Can you just specify which programs they
Sure.
need to submit a test score?
Yeah, so that would be Masters of Science in Business Analytics, Masters of Science in Finance, and finally the Masters of Science in Financial Engineering. So for the other master's program, it is optional. So if you don't have a score, it's okay. You don't have to, go and take take the test now. Yeah, you can submit without the test score. Yeah.
Perfect. So only for masters in business analytics, finance, and financial engineering, you need a test score. But for the others like marketing analytics or accountancy, you don't need a test score. So if you're looking to apply, you can submit without the score, and it would be the focus would be around your profile and your previous academics. That would play a role in the decision making. All
Yes.
right. Okay, we are right on the clock. We are slightly over time, and okay, Nandini, that question got addressed for you. It's like your time, so I do want to wrap up this session and take a few minutes to do that. So let me start with Rachel. If you have to give any one last advice to our audience today about studying in Singapore, about NPS, what would be your advice to them? So let me go round robin with that.
I think one advice that I would definitely give is pick your non-negotiables. Like, for example, for me, my non-negotiable was the quality of education. So, or the quality of the course. So, in that case, don't compromise on that. Like, don't choose the place over the course. Like, let's say some other, you want to go to some place that's more far away to experience different things or a different life, but ensure whatever you're choosing, the course is worth it. Like eventually that's going to matter in your future life, which I think NBS offers best.
Great. Tushar?
Yeah, I would say it's something similar to what Rachel said. So I'd say like one advice could be that research well about what you are looking for, and have a tunnel vision about your goal or whatever you want to achieve, and like research well about the course you want to pursue.
Devashish?
Uh, I agree. I mean, same thing. I mean, we have to know where we want to go based on our strengths and weaknesses and our experiences. Like I mentioned, I worked for 7 years and then I did another master's. So, because we have to know what we want to get out of the course at the end of the day. Uh, so, yeah, we have to
I mean,
research
that
well.
clarity is important.
Yeah, yeah. Agree.
Great, makes sense. And Regine, final advice from you to prospective
Well, I
applicants?
have so many advice. Gosh, which one should I go with, right? I think, of course, all our listeners, they have walked the same journey that you are going to take, or yeah. So their advice are very good, and I think one thing I would say is I think is echo what everybody say is to really know what you want to get out of your master's program, what career you are looking for, because there's so many master's program out there, and a lot of them seems to be able to open doors to your career, right? But you need to know exactly what you want because a lot of people will ask me what is the easiest program to get into. It's not about the easiest program to get into, but rather the program can it give you the skill sets to help you to reach your career goal, right. If I ask you to do accounting, but I say I hate numbers, so obviously you wouldn't want to do accounting. So you need to really know what you want and where you want to go, and then you find the program that best fits all these check all the boxes in, if I may to say that. And I hope that the Nanyang Business School can be the box that you check most. Yeah.
Great, all wonderful advice. And last advice from me on that front is start early. Don't wait till the last minute to start working on your application. Even if you're not applying by the 30th November deadline, and you're submitting an application, the next deadline, log into the application portal now, understand all the application requirements, look at the essay topics, the resume, that is the resume draft or the template that is required, look at how many LORs are required. So check out all of those and start preparing your resources in advance. Don't delay it till the last minute. Very often I've noticed candidates delaying it till the last 2-3 days before the deadline, and then only a shoddy application can be generated in that time. So don't do that. Getting into a top competitive school like Nanyang is extremely competitive. A lot of applicants are applying from India and around the world. To improve your chances, work well on the application, make a strong application, and that would really make a difference into your chances of getting an admit, plus also the chances of getting a scholarship, if you can that way. Great. With that, I want to take everyone's permission to wrap up. Those of you who have pending questions, Rajeen's email address is in the chat. I know, Nandini, you had some more questions, and there are around 10, 12 unanswered questions that we are leaving today. But feel free to reach out to Rajeen if you're looking to get any inputs from her. If you need any guidance from our team at Seed, we do have a free advising team which can advise you or clarify basic doubts about the schools, the programs that you're looking to apply to. So feel free to get in touch with us. And with that, I want to thank our audience firstly. So thank you for being a patient audience and being with us for the last 1 hour. And also a big thanks to Rajeen, Devashish, Rachel, and Tushar for doing this interaction with us. Thank you, all of you.
Sanjay. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Have a-
everyone.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend, guys. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.